The Bureau of Labor Statistics just released a report confirming that Gen Z is navigating the worst entry-level job market in nearly 4 decades. Tech layoffs in 2025 are already running 33% higher than the previous year's record. Homelessness across American cities has now officially surpassed levels recorded during the 2008 financial crisis. And last week, the United States government called it the strongest job market in history. So what exactly are they measuring? Because whatever it is, it has nothing to do with whether you can pay your rent. If you turn on financial television or listen to government officials, you're told this is one of the strongest economies ever recorded. The stock market is near record highs. GDP growth is supposedly resilient. Corporate profits continue to climb in. And unemployment, at least officially, remains historically low. So how can all of those things be true while so many people simultaneously feel like they're drowning? Because the modern economy is no longer being measured by whether ordinary people can build stable lives. It's being measured by whether asset prices remain high. For decades, the labor market was viewed as the foundation of economic health. Could people afford housing? Could one income support a family? Could young people realistically expect upward mobility? Could workers retire with dignity after decades of labor? Those were the questions. Today, the priorities are completely different. Now the economy is judged by quarterly earnings, AI valuations, stock buybacks, and whether large corporations can continue reducing labor costs faster than wages rise. And AI has become the perfect justification for all of it. For the past 2 years, companies across nearly every major sector have announced layoffs while simultaneously talking about AI transformation, AI restructuring, or future efficiency. In April alone, AI was cited as the #1 stated reason for layoffs, accounting for roughly 26% of all job cuts. Year to date, AI-related layoffs nearly tripled compared to the previous year. But here's what nobody talks about. Most companies are not replacing workers because AI is already capable of doing all those jobs. They're replacing workers because investors believe AI eventually will. That's the difference. The layoffs are arriving before the technology is fully capable, and that's creating a labor market where employers gain all the leverage long before workers have any realistic alternative. Whenever people compare AI to previous technological revolutions, they often leave out one massive difference. The Industrial Revolution displaced workers, yes, but it also created enormous demand for human labor. Factories needed workers, railroads needed workers, steel production needed workers, construction boomed. Logistics exploded. Even when automobiles wiped out carriage makers and stable workers, the auto industry itself hired millions. Ford alone employed more workers than many modern tech giants combined. The internet replaced certain professions too: travel agents, typists, print media jobs. But the digital economy created entirely new industries that still depended heavily on human workers. Today's AI boom is fundamentally different. The goal is not simply to enhance labor. The goal is increasingly to remove labor from the equation altogether. Executives openly discuss fully autonomous companies. Sam Altman himself has stated that there will eventually be billion-dollar companies operated by a single person using AI systems. AI agents replacing analysts, assistants, coders, marketers, designers, support staff, and eventually management itself. And when trillions of dollars are being invested into AI infrastructure, we need to ask a simple question. Where exactly are the jobs? Because when over $5 trillion is expected to flow into AI infrastructure and data centers over the coming years, people naturally assume this will create a massive employment boom. But many large-scale AI data centers are projected to employ only 50 to 100 permanent workers once construction finishes. Across the United States, giant AI data centers are being constructed at historic speed. Entire towns are reshaping infrastructure around them. Power grids are expanding. Water usage is skyrocketing. Land is being purchased in enormous quantities. And yet, many of these facilities will employ only a few dozen or a few hundred permanent workers once construction ends. Think about that. Traditional industrial expansion created ecosystems. Factories created middle-class towns. Manufacturing plants supported restaurants, housing markets, retail businesses, transportation systems, schools, and local services. Modern AI infrastructure often creates temporary construction work and very little afterward. The wealth generated flows upward, the labor demand does not. And at the same time this transition is unfolding, the labor market itself is quietly deteriorating beneath the surface. People are submitting hundreds of applications, sometimes thousands. Many job postings are fake. Some estimates suggest nearly 30% of all listings are ghost jobs. In June of 2025 alone, more than 2 million job openings reportedly resulted in zero hires. Some companies post listings simply to appear like they're growing. Others collect resumes with no intention of hiring. Some keep openings online indefinitely while existing employees absorb extra workloads. Meanwhile, entry-level jobs increasingly require years of experience. Young workers are now competing against laid-off mid-career professionals. At the same time, nearly 9.3 million Americans are already working multiple jobs, the highest number since records began tracking multi-job workers in the 1990s. Experienced workers are taking lower-paying roles simply to survive. And the result is a complete bottleneck across the workforce. The ladder is disappearing from the bottom upward. And this is where the conversation becomes dangerous. Because when official narratives continuously claim the economy is thriving, people who are struggling begin internalizing failure.